All right. So I have gone and just finished Indiana Jones and the Great Circle yesterday. Um it's great. I immensely loved the game. I had a lot of fun with it. I took my time with it, exploring every area pretty thoroughly. Uh, until I got like kind of close to the very end and I was like the last like level or so I was like I'm just gonna kind of rush through it just to I can just go back and revisit and collect stuff later um, on my own off stream if I feel like it. Um, but I had a lot of fun with it. I didn't have much gripes with it, honestly. Um, this game, honestly, was really great. Honestly, it felt like old Xbox 360 era gaming of just a fully complete game. Um, Objectives to finish and things like that. Um, I just really enjoyed that. Um, but I'm just gonna go over the few gripes I had, and then I'll move on to the good stuff and kind of like what I really liked about it and whatnot. Um, I'll say that navigating some of the zones is a bit weird. Um, Honestly, I forget why I put it like that. I don't really understand what I meant by that when I wrote it. Um, I slowly work on my reviews as I play through the game. Um, I like after I stream or make a video, so I don't really remember when I put that in. I think I was probably talking a lot more about the I think the second to last area of the game, Sukuthai. Um, I felt that navigating by the boat was a bit weird and um most likely um there was plenty of times where um I had issues like making jumps and stuff using the whip because my whip just wasn't whipping like it should. Like it wasn't catching or like I'd hit the button while looking at the button prompt and it just wouldn't happen, you know? And I think I redid like one spot in the game in the there's like the jump you had to do um in the desert that was like a two whip jump. Uh, I was just having issues with it. Um I think I redid that spot like 7 to 8 times, and I think I was just tired of it. That's probably what part of that navigating some zones are weird came from. Um, I wish some of the skills gave like a either like pictures or a small video to show off how the skill works and like what to expect visually when you go to use some of the skills. Because there's some like stealth skills with the whip that I tried achieving and it wasn't happening. Um, it- um, so that was a bit confusing. I had some issues with that. Uh, I do think that the fact that a lot of the combat, so if you go into a fight using your fists and your whip, enemies won't shoot you, unless it's a captain. But if you do shoot a gun, like pick up a gun and shoot it, everyone will start shooting you. I found it distinctly weird that they won't try to kill you with their guns unless you pull a gun on them or you use one of their guns on them. Um, Otherwise they just kind of come up and try hitting you, and I found that a little bit weird. Um, it was mostly the later half of the game because at the later half, a majority of enemies were carrying around guns, but in the first like area, like the Vatican City, everyone was carrying around clubs. There was only the captains that carried pistols. And some enemies held machine guns, but I just found it weird that they wouldn't use them when they had a chance to. You know, um, but honestly, that's kind of like the only gripes I have. Um, I'm gonna move on to what I really liked about the game. I found that the puzzles were easy to understand, and but they do require like a certain level of like taking the time to check your environment, look at the clues given to you to be able to like figure it out. And not in a way that oh shit, sorry, I didn't get much sleep. Um, but like not in a way that kind of takes away from the puzzle, because there's a lot of games that give you clues or like ways to figure out the puzzle that just kind of like make the puzzle not um how am I thinking, not difficult like in any sense. But they did a really good job with the clues and the puzzles in the game. I had I was in the bathroom for a long time during that video. Um so that was nice. And like the way they did the clues, like you had to go into your journal and then you had to look at pictures and the notes that you had. And then like the menu navigation was great. It's like Indiana Jones would have to flip a page and pull out a note that he picked up to look at, or a picture he took, and you were looking at that. Um, and like just the navigation of the menus was fantastic. I really loved the menuing, um, and the journaling aspect. I think that was my favorite part of the game. Honestly, over everything else, the journal and how like um it all like came together, like the mapping and everything. It really felt like, because you get that journal at the start of the game, right? It's a gift from Marion, and um, you build that journal up with everything you find, everything you've been to, all the maps you make, um, throughout your like adventure, and it really feels like an adventure, and everything you do. Yeah, buddy, that's cool, buddy. Um, Everything you do adds to the adventure, and it's not like you're just checking off boxes. You're like actively crafting your own story, your own Indiana Jones adventure. Okay, buddy. Sorry, my son's talking to me about Minecraft. Um, the locations in the world look amazing and feel like lived in locations. There's not really any locations that are like too empty, or granted, I Sukuzai is the only area that I don't like. I found it too big, but it makes sense why it's big because you travel by boat. But like there's a lot of like random areas in Sukuzai, like in the water, to try and find stuff, and I feel like that's kind of weird slightly. Um and yeah. I do find the fast travel system interesting though, using the signposts. I was just thinking about that because it showed up in my video. Um, Game is utterly gorgeous, even though graphics aren't really needed in the game. this just feels like movie quality, which is fantastic because I mean it really brings the Indiana Jones films to life. And honestly, when you play an Indiana Jones game, you kind of just want to like be in a film. Like you want to be indie and you're trying to be Indiana Jones. Yeah, buddy. And I don't know, it was great. Um the combat feels like like a good slugger, like fisticuffs, hand to hand, with the countering, the dodging, the punching, the using like whatever weapons you have around you. It's very Indiana Jones like movie scene like, and I love that. It was great. I had a lot of fun with the combat, just whacking people with sledgehammers, punching them, kicking them, using my whip to disarm them, and picking up that weapon to hit people. Um, Felt like the older movies, you know, where they have like fight scenes where people are like picking up random shit to hit people with. Like I loved watching the old Jackie Chan films where he was just um fighting a big group of people and he was just picking up random stuff to hit people over the head with, or um using the environment to hit people or like push people around. Um and honestly, this game does a really good job of doing that. Honestly, it's been like one of the most fun combat experience I had. Besides like Elden Ring style combat, they did such a good job. I would love to see another Indiana Jones game like this because I would pay for it. Just a bunch of like little adventures, you know. I would love that. Um, the traversal through the world feels great using the whip to climb and swing from things. It again feels like you're living your own Indiana Jones adventure. Um, and doing the weird stunt, the fun stunts that he did, that occurred in the movies. And I don't know, I loved every bit of traversal. Granted, I did have some issues with it, but that was just because like it wasn't responsive at times, and honestly, it could have just been my fault. I could have just not been doing it right. Um, I like the fact that when you went to climb and do stuff, you went into third person. Um, like the smoothness of swapping between first person and third person went really well. I will say, like there wasn't any like weirdness to it. Um, yeah, buddy, that's cool, buddy. I hear a lot of dogs barking. You got so many dogs. That makes sense. Yeah, in the doghouse. The field works were a fun little side quests that you did. A majority of some having their own uh little dungeons or tombs that you would have to like go through, which was really cool. Like they had really thought out quests and everything, and I really enjoyed that aspect. Um, I think my favorite zone in the game was definitely the desert. Granted, I really like the Vatican City. Um, Something about like traversing through an old city and finding like hidden zones and things like that. It's really fun. Really cool. Um, they really captured what it means to be Indiana Jones as a character, with all the mechanics that they put into the game, like using the whip, swinging around with it, navigating with it, the combat, uh, everything about that. His interaction with other characters, um, they really brought the films to life with this game. I mean, they had other Indiana Jones games in the past. I would love to see them redo them. Honestly, I could. I Bethesda would probably after this game. I Bethesda could do it. They could bring to life the previous Indiana Jones titles, doing full fleshed out remakes. Um, I think I wouldn't be the only one that would be happy about that. Honestly, um, the ability to unlock new items that you could bring back to previous areas to like explore further was amazing. It's great, a great touch. It um Earlier I mentioned that this game is like a Xbox 360 era game. Uh, like a I wouldn't say like genre defining game, but like it's up there. It's its own genre. Honestly, I feel like this Indiana Jones game is its own genre. Um, I feel like it's different enough from Tomb Raider and Uncharted that um it's not in that type of like um genre of like tomb raiding and like big actiony like gunfights, because this game doesn't really have big actiony gunfights. More like hand to hand combat, going through zones, fighting clusters of enemies if need be, or just sneaking past them in a disguise, which I thought was really cool too. The use of disguises to get into different zones and to unlock different aspects. Um, that was really fun. Granted, it mitigated a lot of the combat, but if you were around captains, they would notice that you weren't actually a soldier, um, or an enemy or a Nazi or whatever. Um, I found that story was really good, and really there was enough twists in it to make you wondering what was going on, and um, the yeah, oh, sorry about that. Makes you question what the Great Circle really is and what the stones that you collect throughout the game really do. Especially once you find out that the stones have um like mythical powers to them. Like the one of them you use teleports you around. But I mean, it was a classic Indiana Jones tale where the um the final like reward or like finishing the puzzle overall, the story defining the climax of the story where uh you get you find the special item and it just turns out to not be what it's supposed to be. It's actually not really a good thing at all. Um like how in the films the Fountain of Youth, you could live forever, but you were stuck in a fucking cave. Or the Ark of the Covenant that, if you opened up, stole everyone's souls and killed practically anybody who used it. The Crystal Skull, where you could gain infinite knowledge, but it burned you inside because there's too much knowledge. Um, it's just it was just one of those endings where this is not going to be good for anybody. Um, and that you could see that. You could kind of see it coming a mile away once you figured out, oh, these stones are all powerful. And I don't know. It was a great story. I loved it. I loved the characters. Um, I would say that all the characters are fantastically built, and all of them have like great personalities. None of the main characters feel boring or like over exaggerated to the point where they seem like fake people. Like they all sound, they all have their like goals and what they think about, and like um it's just really really cool. I really enjoyed the characters in the game. Like the whole Indiana Jones Gina dynamic. It's classic indie. There's a girl traveling with him. He's hidden on a floating. Everything going. That's just how it goes. I really enjoyed the attention to detail. On like how the world items interact and things that Indiana Jones can pick up and move around. Um, like I didn't find out later until like halfway to almost three quarters of the way through the game that there's boxes with locks on them and you can smash the locks. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing. I was like, oh, maybe I can smash this. I took a hammer that I found around and I hit it and boom, there was money in it. And that would have been great to know early in the game. There's quite a few of those boxes in the Vatican City that I never interacted with because I thought there was nothing in them. But I was wrong. But honestly, a lot of the interactables and everything, it really showed that the team cared about their work. Um, and they cared about the quality of the product they put out. Um, I'm really happy about. So there's a lot of dev teams that just toss out a game and then forget about it. Don't care about how it's supposed to be. But they did a fantastic job with this game. Learning the skills by using points you earn from exploring tombs, finding relics, finding notes, taking pictures. Um, like getting rewarded for adventuring and doing things like that, and using those points to learn the skills to further enhance Indy as a character. Anytime playing as him is great. I really love the idea. It really pushes exploration without, like, you don't necessarily need those skills, but they're nice. They help. Um and um Finding things and stuff like that, it again builds that adventure. I was talking about how like you this game is just having your own Indiana Jones adventure, taking notes, everything like that. Um, this game plays does that really well. Um, to a lot of these the areas in the game are decent size with enough stuff in them to not make them feel empty or boring, or they're also like not overly crowded with stuff that it makes it daunting to go through. Um, and my final note, uh, giant snake is fucking terrifying. I uh I used to think that oceans were my fear, but I think it's more the fear of not knowing what's around you underwater is what terrifies me. I think that's my biggest fear, and this game pushed that. um, like Subnautica freaks me out. I play that every now and then. It's a great game, but it's terrifying. I hate going into deep waters, the leviathans. Not great. Big open areas of water where I can't see what's around me or underneath me, knowing that it goes stretches for miles underneath me, kills me, cripples me. And the fact that you have to swim through empty, um, like empty waters essentially. There's brush, but the fact that you have to swim through that and there's a giant snake swimming around, not a fan. That oh, I was freaking out. And then like later on in the levels when you had to jump between areas and stay out of the water, mostly while the snake was prowling about, I hated that. Terrifying. I didn't expect a giant anaconda like snake, and they did it. A mythical, I would say mythical snake, but kind of a long story of a giant snake in the lore of the temple. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna give you guys my final rating of the game. It is easily a 10 out of 10 game. Honestly, that I had hardly any cons for it. Um, it wasn't like the story was bad. It was very good. Every aspect of the game was fantastically written and polished and well thought out. And I enjoyed every minute I played of it. Um, and I really hope that Bethesda and whoever shotgunned this idea, they plan to do more. I would really love to see more Indiana Jones games in the future. Um, I think that would be really cool. But if it doesn't happen, I'm happy that this one came out at least, and I was able to play it and finish it. Really happy about that. And I guess that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Ugh. My long-winded, unprofessional review. Um, Unedited with all the stuff in behind. If you enjoyed the game or enjoyed the video, please like, comment, um, comment what you thought about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Whether your playthrough or somebody else's, or the moments you enjoyed watching me play, feel free to put in down below. I would love to see it. I love chatting with you guys um, in the comment section. So I will catch you guys next time. And toodles for now.